Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of
Blynd Submyshynz.
Or maybe this is the first episode.
Ooh.
Who knows? Hey,
It's not the last.
I am Jeff Wilson, bass player for a band called Kook, part owner of Glory or Death Records, and one half of the promoting duo in the Bay Area known as Heavy San Jose. Next to me is JD Norton, who is the other half of Heavy San Jose. And here's another episode of Blynd Submyshynz where we're going to bring a guest on, this time the hilarious and amazing Susie McMullen from Brume, to listen to some songs blind and give some reactions. Yeah, so maybe, my background in music is I started playing bass when I was 14, which was 4 years ago, something like that. And have been in bands ever since. The thing that really turned me on to music was I was on a car trip with my brother's soccer team when I was in 5th grade, 6th grade, and they were all in high school, and someone dropped in 2112 into the tape deck on the car, and I went, what is that? How can I do that? And I really zeroed in on Geddy Lee and the bass playing. So from day one, always just wanted to play bass. And from there on out, it's just been a lifetime of listening to music, discovering new music, and talking about music, playing it, promoting it, going to see it. It's pretty much, we live and breathe it. How about you, JD?
So you like music?
I like music. I do.
Just a little bit. Yeah, me too. What do you know? Yeah, like Jeff said, the other half of Heavy San Jose. And also like Jeff, I think I didn't get into music early, obviously everybody does, but started playing in bands when I was right out of high school, actually. So sang in a couple of bands back in Salt Lake. Salt Lake is where I grew up, and you wouldn't think it, but there's actually a pretty good music scene there, just because the dominant culture is so dominant that the subculture is actually pretty great. And so there's a lot of great music venues, lots of bands come through there because it's sort of at the crossroads of I-80 and I-15. So everybody has to cross through Utah to get to everywhere else that they're going. But yeah, I mean, started booking shows out there, and then moved out here eventually, met up with Jeff. And we started doing the same thing here. And so I don't know, I grew up in the hardcore scene, mostly hardcore and punk, but also one of those sort of crossover metalhead kids. So, bands like Suicidal Tendencies, COC, those types of bands really appealed to me because they were doing a little bit of both. And so like some of the most influential bands of my entire life have been those bands that have sort of combined different things and sort of created their own sort of new genre that you wouldn't have expected. And so like, you look back and I think a lot of my favorite bands are those that just blew my mind with combining different elements of other genres.
Yeah, we're both big fans of the genre busters for sure. I was from Rush. I got into classic rock, modern, current hard rock in the 80s, metal, being in the Bay Area from, for my entire life, but really being in high school from like 87 to 92. There was just a scene of weirdness here. The Bay Area is dominated by bands like Mr. Bungle, and at that time Buzz and the Melvins were living in San Francisco, and there was just so much bizarre kind of we don't care about genre or style or even whether we're good or not in some cases. So that just clicked in my brain at the exact right time. Sometime I'll tell the story of going to see maybe the most epic Mr. Bungle and Melvin show in Southern California of all time. We'll save that for another episode. But that just set in my brain a desire to seek out stuff that is pushing the boundaries. And really all we want to do here is, if you're on Bandcamp or Spotify or whatever, if you're on Facebook, however you communicate with people and take in information about new music, it's clear that there is more music being created that anyone could ever listen to. And tons of it is DIY, right? It's people doing for themselves. So we just thought, hey, we talk about music with each other all the time. Why not talk about it to and with our friends and to all of you as a way to try and expose ourselves to music that we might not have listened to otherwise, and expose bands to new fans potentially. So we're taking submissions via email from any kind of indie or DIY bands. We don't care what genre you are. Send the submission to blynd@gmail.com, BLYND sub@gmail.com. And we will pick at random by song title only. So the songs that we're going to go through today that Susie and JD and I selected, all we know about them is what the name of the song is. And then we'll just live react and do a couple other little segments along the way. The first of which is talk to our goddamn guest, Susie. And it's a shame that we let her sit this long.
I know, right?
Because she's like 100 times more interesting than the two of us combined. So without any further ado, we'll go ahead and welcome on Susie McMullen. And like I said, Susie is the bass player for a doom band from San Francisco, know and love, called Brume, and she always has a delicious cocktail in hand.
Brume, wait, isn't that a French DJ?
Well, yeah, apparently Brume is a French DJ. And
share the space.
Anyways, we'll shut up for a minute. Welcome. Thanks for hopping on board this experiment with us and talking about music.
I mean, I had no idea you guys were going to call. I was sitting around with no makeup on and no jewelry, wondering what there was to do today, and boom, here we are.
Yep, I know.
Excited to set up the microphone.
Yeah, the microphone set up. No, it's perfect. What do I see? Posters. What do I see? I see a High on Fire poster. What else is back there?
Let's see what else. One of my favorite cute little Melvin's posters. You know, gig art. I just think he's such an awesome artist. And you know, if you're going to take something like the Melvins and make it all bubblegum pink, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, that is brilliant.
Yeah, so there's a lot of, it's David and me's combo. So Yay Sayer,
Oh, yeah.
heard of them?
I love them.
Awesome band. Press Hall, you know, representing back home, all my buddies back home in New Orleans. Boy George, representing my soulmate.
Yes.
Yeah, just a bunch of other things for David. Black Rebel Motorcycle Club.
Ooh, another good one.
More gig art, which was just this brutal picture that I used to keep above my son's diaper changing table. People were like, oh, your son's going to look at that. I'm like, I'm trying to make him hardcore.
Yeah. I have framed Skinner prints in the upstairs hallway in my house, and my girl, every time they walk by them, they're like, you're scarring us for life, making me look at these monsters.
Put on the horse blinders.
But now they're used to it, so it's fine.
I know. You've desensitized to them. They will never be shocked.
That's what we're working on. So yeah, as Susie said, and you can probably tell, she is originally from Louisiana, holed up there in San Francisco, it looks like. What have you been listening to during the shelter in place the last 6 months?
Oh, Lord. Well, right when it happened, I listened to what I always listen to when I'm overwhelmed and a little too stressed out, which is Enya. I do. I turn the lights down and I put on Enya so much that when people come over, they laugh at me. Like, oh, you're doing that? Are you having a hard day? I'm like, yes. I'm going to listen to Enya by myself. I'm going to drink a whiskey and I'm going to light a candle and I'm going to dim the lights and I'm going to act like life's a lot easier than it really is. But recently, now that it's not like life got better. I just adjusted and have adapted and I can deal with kind of like a shitty circumstance, I guess. But recently I've been listening to All Them Witches and that new album. I'm kind of dying over it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. Super.
And I love that people are putting things out in 2020 because I need it. You know?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, that's All Them Witches or King Buffalo, that kind of set of bands is what we end up listening to. We make pizza pretty much every Friday night.
Yeah. You know, I just kind of discovered how great King Buffalo was like a few months ago.
Yeah, they're great.
I know they're big and they're always, you know, we're like really small at the bottom of the poster. You could barely read our band's names, you know, and then you could always read the King Buffalo name on the band posters, you know, so that means something, like they made it. But man, they are good. They remind me a lot of, or they have a similar vocalist as Elephant Tree to me.
Yeah.
You know, who I love. And so I love that, and All Them Witches. I like when a vocalist is kind of being honest with himself and just talking to you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, thanks for being vulnerable, and I might not be that good at that. Thanks for doing that for me, or whatever. Like I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that, and I will say we haven't talked about it yet. That Elephant Tree record is fantastic. Has been on constant rotation.
So good
this year.
It's so good. It really is. I love how all those bands get blended into, like a hardcore metal festival too.
This like,
because I think that, we get it a lot, Brume. I mean, most people who don't listen to metal will be like, well, that's a little aggressive for me. But people who listen to metal are like, wait, this isn't metal. We get that a lot. I'm like, we don't give a fuck what it is. We're just making music. People throw us in that genre, like, cool, we'll get to go to play shows there or something. Or a lot of times it's just, we really want to play with this hardcore band. And so we'll, ask them if we could play with them. And then it ends up like we're kind of in that genre. We don't know how it happened either, you know?
Oh, we have the same experience all the time when you write like cowboy songs that Troy whistles through. And then it's like,
Troy also has Boy George as a soulmate. This is why we loved each other right when we met.
Yes, he does. We're gonna have to get Troy on an episode.
Oh yeah.
Let it cook a little bit more. There's not enough video footage of Troy being Troy in the world, and there needs to be more. He's a shy boy.
Super shy.
Actually,
very intimidated.
An interesting segue there to what we discovered last night. So I'm driving home from, I don't even, my wife and I were somewhere, and I have Amazon Music on, and it's like your playlist. It's auto-generated playlist for me, and I'm skipping it occasionally. There was a bunch of good songs. And then out of nowhere comes a song from the first full-length Moontooth record. Have you listened to Moontooth?
Mm-mm.
Oh, man. So
really? It's funny when JD says anything, I'm like, dude, we have like the exact same music taste.
So good. So we do our little music discovery moment out back. He's like, oh, check out this thing. Have you listened to this yet? And what was that? What did you play?
Something about dogs.
Yeah, no. Dog is your god. No, it was something.
I don't know. It was some super like proggy.
Yeah, it was.
Dog is your god is totally a song you come up with when you're tripping on acid.
Yeah.
Like dog is God. I get it.
But it was prog metal Christmas music is what I immediately thought of.
Yeah, there's a lot of instruments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's prog.
And then I was like, okay, cool. That's neat. That's I don't know.
Neat.
We got most of the way through the song, and then I was like, oh. And then I found this, and I played the Moontooth song, and he was like, what the fuck is that? And then we proceeded to listen to both albums all the way through. Part of the acoustic album they just released, back to the second album, the first couple of songs.
I mean,
I love it when bands release acoustic albums. I really do. I'm like one of those people. I love playing with bands that are bold enough to do that on stage too. Yeah. I think it's just so cool. Like everyone wants you to be like this thing, and instead you just strip it all down to the bare bones melody and just tell people to deal with it. I just think it's so great. It's like flipping people off in a different way, which I'm always fond of.
If you want to grab a song, just queue up a song on Bandcamp from them. We can play a little snippet. So it's like from looking at their label, it's probably post-hardcore, hardcore leanings, maybe metalcore. It's a really clean instrumentation and recording. It's like modern metal style, and then the goddamn blender of genres so seamlessly fit together. Like if a polka segment appeared, not
really
surprised at all, but not like Mr. Bungle style overt.
Wait, ain't nothing wrong with Mr. Bungle.
Look, you're never gonna hear a bad. But it fits with the song, and then the singer appears, just with the most incredibly soulful, powerful voice.
Oh my god!
Not at all like what you were expecting.
It's so hard to listen to you talk about this and me not immediately look it up, and so I think we should play it right now.
We're gonna play it.
Okay, we'll do it.
We're gonna do a little screen share, but we'll try not to stare at the screen too much, because when you're listening to a podcast.
Yeah, right.
Hear the sound of my head bob.
Yeah, so that is what's happening.
But don't worry about it. I'll cut this out, and we'll just keep the Zoom audio for this one.
All right. So are we ready?
Yes, we are.
Moontooth, 2 words. What's a great cover too?
You can pick the first song. You could pick whatever.
This is the one they picked for us.
Okay, let's hear what they picked for us on Bandcamp.
Let's see what they picked for us.
All right.
twisted everything as if to say, let's get out of this fucking pit. Hiding for surprise, a pale giant smiles off. Quiet turn of flame, a sound somewhere between a whisper and a distant roar.
That was very unexpected.
Right?
That was very unexpected when the vocals hit. That was awesome. I was like, at first, I'm like, sounds like Blondie.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, then it kind of sounds like Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic. And then I'm like, wait, all of a sudden it gets groovy. And then they sing, and I don't expect this at all, because it's like beautiful and honest and very like now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hit the beginning of Trust, which is the first song. Yeah.
If you saw the ghosts I see when I sleep, you leave too. Can you tell you you go things you bite you. If you tell you we're gone into love, is the world filled.
That makes me feel like I'm like back in the 90s, like, you know, tomboying out in the pit, and it gets me pumped.
It's
Yes.
It's funny too, because I think 90s influenced stuff seeping back into the music world. You know, strangely, we're old enough now that our teenage years and early adult years are nostalgic.
I know, right?
Which is kind of hard to wrap your head around. But and this
No,
is
I think that's so. I see like kids walking home from high school in super cute, like old school 90s goth outfits. And I'm like, oh, good. That looks great. Bring it back, girl.
yeah.
Big old chunky boots and down. I love the whole genre, from the way they look to the way it sounds. But yeah, like that post-hardcore, that's always my sweet spot. I know it's yours too, JD. I love it when things get like rambunctious and still vulnerable at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just this perfect blend of like punk and like fearlessness.
Completely.
Yeah.
You're going to want to listen to both of those records in some quiet time.
Yeah, the first one is not quite as polished and a little bit more like you can hear. You're like, oh yeah, they came up in the hardcore scene. Like you can hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you look at a picture of them, and it's like 4 Italian dudes from Long Island, which utterly blew me away.
That guy,
Really?
you got so much.
Oh, I love that. But look at me, I look like fucking Dolly Parton, and I sing sad music, so I'm down with that when people are unexpected.
For sure, yeah. Like the lead singer is like Joey Caputo.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
They, and we're the dummies. I'm the dummy for not knowing who they are. They've toured with major acts. They toured with Animals as leaders, and so people know who they are. It's just I didn't know who they are.
I know there's always there's those bands.
Yeah, that's on me, not them. It's a funny assumption like that. You hear that all the time. There's no good music. Well, just because you haven't found it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. That's on you.
There. Has there been anything that you've discovered? Not even.
Yeah, I think that happened to me recently when I'm like, wow, this brand new band is so amazing. I'm like dying over them, and I look them up, and they're like not brand new at all. Yeah. And it's Crone Ghost out of Sacramento.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I just love. I love their blend, and I love how they do it. I love how they come across like they have a big sound, but there's just 3 of them.
Yeah, they're great.
They blend that like hardcore, double kick drum with beautiful vocals, and I think that just like speaks to me. And he just has that one song that I just want to play over and over again.
First one on the new album. Da-dum.
You know that?
Yeah, we actually had them play at a festival, the last festival we did in September in Cupertino. Jake's a super nice guy, and we talked to them about putting that record out. And ultimately, I didn't think that we were the best fit because I thought they deserved better, better coverage, better promotion, better distribution, and they got a pretty good deal. So.
We were going to play with, I was telling Jamie, we had a show with them. Of course, Corona busted the whole fucking thing up, but we had a show with them probably March, April, like right when it all got shut down. I remember talking to Jamie. I was like, we do not want to go after. We're just going to warm everybody up and everybody's going to be like, oh, that was nice. And we're going to let them fucking blow everyone's mind. All right. We're going to applaud and be grateful that we didn't go after them. Like, we don't want to go after Yob. I mean, who wants to go after Crone Guys? Who wants to go after bands that just kind of like tap into that part of you and you don't know what it is. You just know that you're feeling it. You don't want it to go away. It's like listening to Enya. Do you ever listen to anything after Enya? No, because nothing will make you feel that way.
Yeah.
Or you're asleep.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No, because you're asleep. Yeah. I like Enya.
No, my Enya actually, and during Shelter in Place, my Enya has been Joanna Newsom, which is another kind of maybe not as inherently soothing, but just is a voice and a music that just calms me down, which is usually what I'm looking for.
Isn't that's who played with? Didn't we? No, she isn't she the one that opened for?
No. Joanna Newsom's much more famous than that lady. She plays a harp. She has an insanely high voice. Somebody famous. I forget who.
I know I have her music. Yeah. I just can't.
Yeah, I mean her voice is unmistakable.
Yeah, unmistakable.
Yeah. All right.
Should we get to the Blynd Submyshynz?
Let's get to the meat of this thing.
Oh God! Disclaimer.
Okay.
You texted me a bunch of songs, and I thought the song was called Black Country, so I picked it. And then when I went back and saw it on the big screen, I'm like, oh, there are 3 words to that song title.
Yes. Black
Country Disco. And I'm like, oh, shit. I mean, I'm still glad, but it was like a double surprise for me.
Yeah. So, Black Country Disco was Susie. I gave everybody 6 song titles to choose from. We listened to 3, and then at the very end of this one, we're going to listen to the last 3 lightning round style.
Yes.
Just a few seconds.
Oh.
And then move along. Because how can you not hear those song titles and then think, I want to know what that sounds like? So we'll just do it fast.
Yeah. So as a reminder. Listen to the first 10 seconds.
Okay.
Every song. And then we'll stop, take a step back, see if we want to continue listening, what caught our ears, and then we'll go for another, a minute?
Go up to a minute.
Up to a minute?
Yeah.
See if anything else is interesting, is happening, talk about it a little bit, and then decide if we want to finish.
Yeah, and part of it is like, I'm so fascinated by what makes you press play on a song. Like if you're scrolling through, if you're on Facebook, my Facebook feed is filled with music. It's filled with, hey, listen to my song, or JJ from the Obelisk saying, hey, this album just came out and it's killer. And like, what are the elements of that catch your eye, catch your attention, and make you go through the effort of clicking through and pressing play and listening to something? And
I know. I was thinking that the first song on a playlist is the new album name of our generation now. Not our generation, but of our day and time. Because back in the day, you're like, this is the name of our album because we're not that sure about the other 14 songs, but this one's fucking good and we really want you to listen to it. But now it's like, no, you just put it right there at number 1, because if they don't get past number 1, they're probably not going to listen to your fucking album, Or I just noticed that that's my behavior. I click on the first one, I'm like, nah, next, or I click on the first one and I'm like, save the entire album to a playlist. Listen to it all the time.
I think a lot of bands would, at least back in the day, you would organize your album by like it was your set list. So like you like your best song was always like fourth or fifth or maybe near the end, you know.
Yeah.
You have like an opener and you're like, no, you don't do that anymore. No more set list albums.
Well, actually, we talked about this last night because he asked me the very nerdy question of explain to me what prog means. What is the definition of prog?
What's the definition?
And so we just had this conversation about different songwriting styles, like the kind of pop style of ABAB verse chorus, like teach the listener this is what you need to know about this song, and I'm going to repeat it a bunch of times, and we can have a shared experience of singing it together or whatever. Whereas the prog journey is
Good luck.
no, it's different, and it actually ties back to the album naming. The prog journey is about telling a story. So it has a beginning. You know, it reaches up to some peak, and then maybe, you know, in the way a good movie does, and then it falls at the end, and there are themes that are repeated, but very much less concerned about the kind of standard song structure.
Yeah. You don't want people singing
tropes.
along.
With some, you know, obviously there are verses and choruses in prog songs.
It's like the difference between a drama and like a Disney movie that definitely is going to have a happy ending.
Or a procedural or a sitcom. Like people watch CSI, they know exactly what's going to happen at minute 1, at minute 30, at minute 60.
Yeah.
And part of that's reassuring. But from a title standpoint, loud children in the background, from an album title
Great title.
Loud children in the background.
Yeah.
we do have one
like
song
that.
about parenting.
We do, and I think you picked it.
But I would, if I was writing something that I considered to be prog, I would never name the album the title of one of the songs, because that's not the point of the album. The title has to be something that conveys something.
Right. This is the story of this album, or this is the motivator of all of the stories in our songs. Or
Yes.
Yes.
that is deep.
Anyway,
So before we get into this, Susie, what is it that catches your ear when you're listening to new music? What are you listening for? What determines whether or not you're going to keep listening?
Well, that's a good question. I definitely think I'm a moody listener. So I have like pretty high ups and pretty down lows. And I'm not somebody that wants to get out of that. I'm not looking for a solution to my mood. I'm always looking for something that is a complement to my mood. So when I'm sad, I want sad music. When I'm happy, I want happy music. When I'm pissed, like I'm getting in my car and I'm listening to like, you know, I will still put on fucking Hostile from Pantera. I'm telling you, like I'm 14 years old and I'm mad at my mom. And I'm like mad at a work meeting, you know, I'm like, that's it. I'm going to listen to Pantera. I can't take it anymore. So the first thing is like, is this like catching my current vibe? Because I just want to marinate in my vibe and not feel alone. Like that's my number one goal when I listen to music. Like I don't want to feel alone. So I want you to have the same vibe as me.
Yeah.
I think I'm similar. Some people use the music to kind of counter the mood, almost like therapy. Like I'm sad, so I want to listen to something happy. I'm totally the opposite.
Yeah.
To wallow a little bit in whatever I'm in. And for me, happy music is almost always funk. So if I feel great, it's like Prince or the Meters or
Yeah.
Parliament.
Let's go crazy. Totally. That's a perfect dance song when you're in a good mood.
Yeah, it's like seasonal too.
Yeah.
You know, like I like in the winter, totally. Like that's when I get right back. I'm doing more Yob and I'm doing more of the Doom, and then like summertime.
Like warm hug music.
Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Totally.
Today I was doing dishes and I listened to some dishes doing music.
Did you listen to Dishwalla?
No, I did not listen to Dishwalla. But for some reason, I really wanted to listen to the Ben Folds 5. So I put on the Reinhold Messner album, which is like, I think, a nearly perfect pop or rock album. So many incredible songs. Army. He's a great storyteller. So I thought about the Army. Dad said, son, you're fucking high. I said, hey, there's a first time for anything. So I took my old man's advice.
Nice.
2 sad semesters. It was only $50,000. And then he dropped out and joined the Army.
Oh my God, I love that. You know this.
He's a great storyteller. Anyways, all right. So here we go. The first song, if you go to my wish list
Okay.
in Bandcamp, and then you go to scroll down, You go to Black Country Disco right there.
Oh, Black Country.
Oh shit, here's my song. I mean, I've never heard this song before, but I'm pretty stoked to hear what it might sound like.
Are you screen sharing yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, so just click.
Okay.
We're super good at this. This
We're
is
getting,
this
like,
is our.
weird.
Can I know the name of the band, or is this all blind?
You can know now. So it's going to come up on the
Okay.
screen. This is Tom Aspal and
Look at that photo. Oh,
so scroll down to get to Black
dreamy.
song itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Okay, here we go.
There we go.
Wait.
Is that the intro?
It says Black Country.
That's on the bottom. 10.
There it is. Okay.
Sounds like Wind Hand. Early Wind Hand. Oh, not anymore.
Okay, so that's 10 seconds in.
I'm listening still.
We still listening?
Yeah, come on. Something's got to drop. We got to wait till.
Okay.
There we go. That's
All
the
right.
answer, though.
Something's gotta
Something's
drop.
got to drop.
Here we go.
I've been falling on my knees. I can feel the sun again. I can hardly breathe. Out of darkness comes the light. Anywhere I go, anywhere I don't even care. I can take him home with me, fall in love, I can't leave him there. Baby. Anywhere I go, anywhere I don't even care. So what you try to tell me, don't tell me I should stop. I feel like I'm 18 and
All right, we're a minute in.
Yeah, I think we could call it.
So that song could be coming out of my kids' room for one of two reasons. Either they like it and that's something that's currently popular, or they're watching whatever the latest new Disney Channel music movie is.
Yeah.
That's these terrible songs.
It's
fine.
I mean, I liked that simple sort of just backing track, the beat, but that voice I wasn't too into.
Yeah, it was funny.
It sounded kind of interesting.
You said let's wait until something drops, and then I swear a coin dropped and hit the ground the second we
Yeah,
pressed.
that was interesting. I was like, did you guys just do that? Do you have like a laugh and a coin drop, like keyboard or a MIDI that you're like, ha, ha, ding,
No.
ding, ding.
All right, let's scroll down real quick and read about him, and then we'll move
Okay.
on to the next one.
Oh gosh.
So we are as always in Bandcamp.
Nothing here.
Whenever
When you said Black Country, I was totally imagining my dream song of Dolly Parton and Danzig meshed together into this like evil, giant, blonde, awesome punk song. And
not that
we got Black Country Disco. All right, Tom.
share now,
Okay.
and we'll just wrap that up. Here, just hit stop share.
Okay.
So the only thing we know about him is he's from Wolverhampton in the United Kingdom. It was fine. I don't know. I just did. We didn't have enough new submissions for this week, just because no one knows that we're doing this yet.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that we're getting submissions to begin with.
Wait, that guy submitted this song?
No, he did not. I did kind of.
Oh, I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And I don't want to say anything negative.
Yeah.
Look, it takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there and to try to either go for a vibe you wish you had or to represent the vibe you currently have. Both are legitimate and have their place in society.
Yeah, totally.
So I really don't. I have personal taste, yes, but it is hard for me just to straight up say something's bad.
It's terrible.
And normally, even when I say something's good, most of my girlfriends are like, oh, do we have to listen to, quote, your music again?
Word
And
music.
that's what I get most of the time, including my husband. He's not a super metalhead. So I'm like, I know it might be sad to you, but it just makes me feel good. If you don't mind, would rather be alone and listen to my music. Anyway, back to disco guy.
I mean,
It's
Bandcamp.
disco.
Yeah, Bandcamp's interesting because anyone can publish, so we could get some really, truly horrible submissions. and I'll be honest, but then there's also the like easy exit of, look, that's just not for me.
I feel like that song's not for me, and that dude clearly is tapping into a specific vibe that a lot of people like a lot. of people like more than the music that I like. So I feel like he could get to where he wants to go if he got somebody to mix his record a little bit better and the vocal didn't have so much attack on it. And like if somebody kind of trimmed it down and blended it better, he had a good mixer. I think that song could be a lot better because clearly know what he's trying to do. I mean, that's a lighthearted, fun, tap your foot while you're sitting in a Tommy Bahama chair, drinking a Bud Light, watching your cute girlfriend in a tiny bikini walk into the ocean. I mean, that's a great song for that.
I think I like him.
That's great.
I would like to be doing that right now.
Should we check out The Swimmer?
Next, JD selected a song called The Swimmer. So we'll go ahead and share the screen.
Is this yours, JD?
Yes. Okay.
And The Swimmer is a song from a band called, let's scroll up, Syd Barrett, all one word, an obvious Pink Floyd reference. Just right off the bat from looking at the album cover, you're talking about someone who's interested in all of the things that made Syd Barrett's life interesting. And if you don't know about that, read up on it because it is a fascinating story. So here we go.
Let's just look at this really quick. And what are we going to hear?
Very good. It's going to be like, her makeup's running down. It's evil halfway on the album cover. I think it's going to be good. Or it kind of looks like it already is a soundtrack to a movie, right? A scary.
I mean, so it's funny how many cues there are. So if you look at the kind of the logo work, the graphic design, so that could be the cover of an Opeth album or a song. So I'm picturing progressive, cleanly produced modern metal with the kind of tones that you would expect to get out of that kind of dark, moody.
But look at the font. Look at the font at the bottom where it says The Swimmer. Doesn't that kind of say new metal?
That's a little corny,
kind of
right?
basic,
so it's Opeth meets Korn.
Ooh, yes.
I would be down with that. I would be down with that.
Fine.
I got. I will admit to this, but my
we'll go. I'm scared.
I know, right? Right.
Yes.
My professional. Go ahead, JD.
I worked for this music magazine back in the day, and the editor was he was a Sony rep. So he got all the shit, and then he had to, back in the day when you had to take your tapes and your record flats and go distribute them to the record stores to get them to, sell your band. But he had that first Korn album. I remember I grabbed it out of a stack in his living room, and I had to drive. I had like an hour and a half drive home ahead of me. And I put that thing on, never hearing it before. And I was like, what the fuck?
That's not a bad record.
I was so into it.
That first record's not. Look, I have personal issues with one very specific thing in Korn, and that is Fieldy and the goddamn setup on his bass and his bass tone is
Lord.
pure hell. His strings are so loose, and all you hear is fret slap and this god-awful noise. And it has proven to me in everything that's come since that first album that he is an insane person. If you want to have a really good time, go and listen to Fieldy's solo works. Because it is a treat.
Okay, so let's listen to The Swimmer. Here we go. So don't seconds in, do we keep listening?
Don't start your song by talking to me about what you're going to talk to me about.
Is that what he was doing?
Yeah, he's like,
let me tell you a little story.
Yeah. You can
a man named Jen.
No, you can do it in soul and R&B. You can talk to the listener all day if you're Barry White. Don't do it in metal. Come on.
Why do you think some of these say free next to them? Are these like you can buy these songs? You can just download those for free?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I probably wouldn't listen anymore once the guy started talking.
Yeah, to be honest, the talking was a little, but I kind of want to, in the words of Susie, I want to hear it drop.
Yeah.
There's something's gonna happen, right?
I mean, they come out the gate with some like serious anticipation, and I'm a sucker because I don't play the guitar. I'm a sucker when guys noodle.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
All right,
I
let's
think
do it.
I think we could give
We'll give them another minute.
And just like you said, you get like 1 second to like show your chops. Our 1 second would be like maybe C sharp, and we hold it for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I hope you like that note that's kind of droning out. So yeah, it's good.
Should we listen to a second note?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm swimming out to sea, fighting the waves, pushing me to the shore. Maybe safety isn't what I'm looking for. These are my dreams.
I would so go to that show. I'm not lying. I would be down with that show, and I would have a good time.
I bet the show.
I would be running into each other.
Yeah. JD always says like the make or break moment is when the vocals start.
Yeah.
And for me on that song, it's a break moment.
Yeah.
Like I immediately know I'm not.
Really? I kind of liked it. Like, maybe his timing could be a little, well, that was 2011. I bet if he's still singing that song right now and he re-recorded it, it would be better.
Yeah. Well, it was,
But I thought it was very unexpected when he started doing that. I thought I would so go to that show.
Oh.
it was kind of like a low energy Rollins. It was like he's like not quite as mad as Henry.
Not quite as mad as Henry.
He's like kind of
But
mad.
he really likes them. Like, he really respects them. And a lot of great bands start that way. They just kind of emulate who their hero is. And then they like 20 years later, they turn it into their own style, and it's cool,
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, it was a weird kind of talk yell.
It was that was a hardcore band. I don't know why that was classified as new metal, or that one of the tags was Mastodon.
Well, you know why? So this goes back to packaging.
Yeah.
That logo work looks to me like a lot
I
of
look like it.
the Mastodon packaging logo.
Mhm.
They hired the same design firm or something. But I
I
mean,
love Mastodon too. I just think they're a phenomenal band. I mean, I know they're really popular, and we kind of like, we get the option of listening to bands that are like brand new that are just also just as good. When I saw them at Psycho, I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
they're legit. They're so good.
yeah, you don't have to convince either of us about that. And I'm not one of those like, oh, I liked, because I started listening to them at the first album, and then everyone turned after Leviathan because they stopped just being a straight kind of sludge band. And I was like, oh, give me more. I heard Blood Mountain. I was like, this is great. What comes next? Give me more.
Mhm.
Crack the Sky is in my top 5 favorite
completely.
albums of all time. And it's a beautiful prog album that tells a really long arc story. It's fantastic. So
Yeah, I think it's funny that when you see actors and actresses on television and you watch them grow up on TV, and they have all these different personalities, it's easy to understand, like, oh, they're going through their adolescence phase, or oh, they're trying to be like professional, or oh, now they're like having a midlife crisis. And we give them all these outs. But when you're a musician, because music's so personal to people and it represents such a particular moment of time in their life that they want to hold on to, they don't really get the same like open-heartedness from their crowd. Like, they want them to always be that same person. And when they evolve, a lot of times, or they change because they're people and they change when they get older, people get upset and a lot of times don't accept them for their new style.
yeah. I have a hard time understanding that, but we see it all over the place. And Mastodon is a perfect example. I mean, people who say, I hate Crack the Sky, that's a terrible record, are insane. It is a collectively fantastic record. If you can divorce yourself from your own feelings about them or your own memories of first hearing them, you can't say it's not a good record.
Yeah.
You can say
Music's just different. Music's so personal, whereas other people and actors aren't. They're their own thing, and you kind of watch them, and you just get to like kind of judge them from afar, but people take personal ownership of songs like it was theirs, you know, like they were talking to them individually, you know?
Yeah, I'm doing a podcast. Obviously, I'm interested in this form, and so much of it sprung out of the comedy world. And I think the much more, the parallel that works better is a stand-up comedian and how they evolve over time and whether their audience accepts them changing their style is, and there are real personal feelings wrapped up in what you think about a stand-up, and they're bearing their soul, whatever their style is, they're telling you about who they are. And you see people, just get excommunicated when they go down a different road in stand-up than they started on. Like, can you imagine if Mitch Hedberg were still alive today, if he put out a storytelling show album where he told 10-minute long stories instead of 10-second.
Did the Seinfeld topical?
Yeah.
The store today.
Or like Seinfeld did, Sarah Silverman bits, or
super raunchy. Just
well, part of me as an artist is frustrated because you kind of get blocked into like people identify like with you and your genre, and that's who. It's like when you change, you're almost attacking who they are, and at the same time, I'm one of those people. Yeah. I find myself doing it all the time. If somebody kind of like, sells out and I don't know, whatever that word means, but it's like, I do it too. It's like, I'm mad when people do it to me as an artist. And then as like a person who loves music and a music lover, I do it all the time. Like, no, but
don't make an album like that. I want to
Right. But you were like hardcore and you represented why society sucks. And I identify with you because I think society sucks too. And they suck and we don't. And that's our fucking world. Don't ruin it,
Like Morrissey. Oh. He changed, right?
Yeah.
We should accept him. And maybe in the wrong direction. All right.
We do this last song.
We got this last one, and I'm gonna.
Hey JD, so do you like that song or not? I don't know. I need to hear how you feel.
That song?
Mm-hmm.
Swimmer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I probably would have liked it maybe when I was much younger. I'm not. No, I wouldn't keep listening.
Yeah, the music wasn't enough in my lane to make me suffer through the vocals, which is a thing that I do. It's a thing, and again, coming back, you can see we spend a lot of time together. Coming back to a conversation we were having last night, it's like, I'm all for extreme metal and all types of vocals, but I do think there needs to be an honest conversation in the metal community about singing and its actual role in music, because real singing is hard and there aren't very many people that can do it. And when you hear it done really well and you see how it complements the music, to me, it always elevates a band, right? So if you can, and my favorite singers in extreme music can do both, right? So if you can conjure a really beautiful melody and hit a great note and have really interesting inflection, and then you can sound like a monster 10 seconds later, I'm double on board. Or bands, multiple vocalists do that.
I would say that is why like Enter Armour is one of my favorite bands in the whole world, because their vocalist, Mike, who like, I just find he can accomplish so many things when he growls or sings, or like he like can tell you fuck you to everybody, like fuck you society. I still make this song beautiful. I'm sad. I'm mad. I'm here for you. Like he does all that in his voice. And I just think that is so badass. It's, to me, in the extreme metal world, he's kind of like unattainable almost vocal performer.
It's hard to do. I mean, the kind of this shitty joke that I made was there are entire genres of metal that exist because real singers, you can't find real singers. So they just went, fuck it. We're not even going to try anymore. We're just going to do this high scream or this low growl, or
It's like every time someone sings it ruins it. So stop. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I write so many songs with Brume where the song's great. And when I'm singing, I'm like, I feel like like I need a break from this song because I feel like I'm ruining it. So I don't want to do anything right now, you know?
And that's a smart, I mean, that's a smart move for a vocalist to sort of know where you're helping the song and where you're not helping the song. The over singers and music in general, but especially in metal, when you come across them, the people so enamored with their voice that you think they think you want to hear it every second.
Yeah, kind of like a voice to be an instrument. Like you're in there, but I also like it mixed that way too. Like I like when a voice is mixed, not in the front, you know, but kind of with it. Like it's all just the same vibe. Enya does that. I mean, I just want to point that out that Enya does that.
Do we need to have an entire Enya episode? You play your favorite Enya selections because I'm down.
I've always been into Enya, but it's like a recent obsession because of the fucking coronavirus. I need a break from life, and she gives it to me.
Which one?
It's the Alpha Omega Murphy by Guitar Fight. There we go. So this is my selection. The song is called Heart Emoji / Good Parenting. So
did you pick that or did your daughter pick that?
No, I picked it. You know what? I made the list for the last episode that we did. It was 10 songs long. And one of the songs was called Can I Still Be Aborted Even Though I'm Already 29? And I let the kids look at the list and they both picked that one. So I think I've done a good job.
All right. Chattanooga.
All right, here we go.
I see you and I drift in space and time, so we'll stay here, this clear.
All right. 30 seconds in.
I'm still
First
listening.
impressions. Are we still listening?
I'm still listening because they're gonna drop. You know, it's like I like it when they like.
Yeah.
I like anticipation. You know, I live a life of anxiety. It's nice to win the song. You know.
Yeah, and it's like there were imperfect harmonies. There was not.
Yeah, they've already said fuck it. Like I like them already.
Perfect guitar work, but it seems like it's got heart. So let's.
All right. Here we go.
Oh.
Talking like in love until the sky above is reminiscent of the burning house of fire that is love within our souls. Take this hand to hold until the sky is far below.
All right.
I like it still.
Yeah, I like it.
So here's.
Really? Can I add something at the bottom? It said, made in the basement with one mic. Thanks, Mom.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
That is fantastic.
Right.
So whoever this person is has a fantastic career writing songs for like indie teen romantic dramedies.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Michael Cera
Like
stars in whatever movie.
any Michael Cera.
Yeah, like this is Michael Cera, and actually, this could have been out of what was the Alaska Juno?
Juno.
Yeah. This was on the Juno soundtrack.
Very
convinced.
Very similar.
Like Devotchka wasn't like the Juno album all Devotchka.
I think
I think it was.
I think so.
I love Devotchka. I love that band.
But does it say anything else about this
It doesn't say
person?
anything
Chattanooga,
else.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
No, thanks, Mom. That's what it says.
Mom, that was very sweet.
It sounds like a guy who would say thanks, Mom, like a sweet boy who loves his mom.
And you can tell.
I'm like the kind of guy that would like me in high school, but I always wanted the guy like going to jail. You know, because I always came across like an aggressive, strong woman, but I'm actually attracted to aggressive, strong men. But aggressive, strong men want like sweet, sensitive, like maybe not as
Do they?
as me.
What's
And
going
so I always thought it was confusing when I was younger. I'm like, why do all these sensitive guys looking for a mommy want to date me? And I'm looking for the punk rocker that's ready to like bash a car window in. You know, why isn't that guy noticing me?
Probably wasn't thinking that hard about any of it.
No.
If I can give you my 2 cents as a former teenage boy.
As a former teenage boy.
I honestly have that like that post-childbirth memory loss. I can see flashes of my teenage years, but like I cannot for the life of me think of the thoughts that motivated me to do anything. I think it was just a hormone tornado.
Well, I mean, that's why.
All of the rage.
What's the cartoon with the hormone monsters?
Oh, on Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix. Oh my God, I can't remember. I don't know. But it is like you watch that and it's like a flashback. It's like just watching a flashback.
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, I remember these years.
Yeah.
They were horrible.
They were terrible. All right, so I would say that was uneventful. I will say that in the other 3, I think we have possibly some pretty interesting stuff. One in particular, it has a band name that I couldn't even begin. I believe it's probably Welsh, and I couldn't even begin to say the word. Right. But we'll look at it on the screen. Maybe we can see if we figure out how you might say it. Cool. Well, there's the submissions. What are we doing next?
Well, I was gonna do a game, but my game was gonna be part of the lightning round.
Oh, okay. That's fine. We can do that.
Whoever wins gets JD's Big Business t-shirt.
Yes.
I didn't. We usually save a little time at the end to show off new stuff, new records we bought. As DIY independent musicians, I'm sure you can attest, Susie, to the fact that the best thing you can do to support a band is go to their website or go to their bandcamp and buy a record or a t-shirt or something like that. It's pretty significant. So we do that. I just didn't get anything new in the mail this week.
I just got the Velar tack.
Especially now because most bands, their expectations of 2020 were to sell all their albums at shows. I mean, that's normally how we make money. You know, we'll sell way more vinyl than we'll make at the door.
100%.
And so, you know, it's like now we're just kind of shipping it out and then you pay shipping costs, but it's not as much because you don't have this like natural traffic. So yeah, like if you like a band and Christmas is coming up, and Halloween, and our bands do well during Halloween. I think it's a good time to buy your favorite band's most recent album, because that's probably the one they have on hand.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bandcamp's a good place to get it for most bands, at least in our scene, in this like stoner, doom, whatever, sludge.
Like that one?
So
oh, yes, you're the sweetest.
So our merch tables.
Gnarly, crushing heavy metal, bro.
New wave of British heavy metal.
No, not
from the 70s.
So instead of the merch table, we're going to do a little segment called Our Friends Make Cool Art. And so Susie is from Brume. We've talked about it a bit. JD just showed you a record. Now let's play a little music.
Ooh. Should we do that?
Yeah, I think we should do that. What should we play? Do you have any requests of your own music, or do you want us to pick?
I mean, are we going to play anything we want?
Yeah, from your catalog, yeah.
From Brume?
Yeah, from Brume.
Well, definitely something off of Rabbits.
Listen to myself.
Something off of Rabbits.
I know it sucks. I'm like, yeah, I always have to listen to myself. It's especially right after you record, you heard the same song a million times. You're like, I hate me.
I know.
I don't listen to anyone but me. Gosh, they're all special in different ways. I kind of like. Let's see. I don't know. You have to play whatever you want. That's weird. I feel awkward.
All right, we'll
I feel awkward.
I mean, Scurry is like a song that's like makes me feel excited now. Lament is probably like the sweetest song, but it's 1,000 minutes. Blue Jay is really special because it's the first time that I recorded a song with Jackie, and it's the opposite of metal, but it was really fun to play piano and cello with Jackie's cello and kind of vibe each other. And, we've since then, blossomed a really nice relationship, in and out of music.
No.
And Autocrat's Fool is the first time basically that song was written because every time I mic checked, I would have a new sentence. Like I would mic check with one sentence, like, who said the reigns of the dead? And then the next mic check would be, who said the reigns of the dead when all I can see is spirits in the west? And then I would just keep building and building. And finally it was so fucking long. Jordan's like, I could just put a drum beat behind that.
It was awesome too at the record release show.
Oh, it was so good.
That the Autocrat's Fool. I mean, the whole thing was great, but Autocrat's Fool was great.
Yeah, we can play that one. It's fun. It's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's long. We won't play.
Yeah, we can stop it after I do it.
Okay, 10 seconds in. Do we keep listening? No, I'm just.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh shit, they're like, it's about to drop.
I mean, that is the one thing that's useful for genre to have an understanding of genre is to set expectations, right? Someone, if they know kind of roughly where in the world you fit, they know that they need to listen for more than 10 seconds to get anywhere.
Yeah.
They need to settle in and be ready to listen for a few minutes to get a feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, the first time I heard this was like chills. I just love that hollow drums. Like it sounds like it's in a cavern.
Yeah. And that's fun. When Jordan recorded that, it was kind of awesome. Like, it's funny. We spent a lot of time micing up the drums, and then it's like pretty much the song's done when Jordan was done. We did our part.
All right, let's keep listening. Such a good song.
That song is all about just massive disappointment in Americans.
Yeah.
It really is. It's just this song that's fuck you for being so reliant on this king, dying for everybody to solve your problems. You come from Louisiana, you're farm your own vegetables, kill your own meat, fucking take care of yourself. Yeah. Be self-reliant, because when you're self-reliant, you make better decisions. When you're dependent on a president or a king or somebody to take care of you, you're beholden and you give them your power. And when you give them your power, they fuck up. We give people power, they fuck up. Nobody is going to be free of this law. We all are going to be a victim of power. So just don't give it up. Don't give them your power. Take care of yourself and make good decisions, because you're not dependent on someone else.
Yeah, no, I mean, that has been the most shocking development for me in the last 4 years, is how many people in our country want to be ruled, right? I assumed, a core American value is, I don't want to be ruled. Isn't that why we came here? But no, it's as it turns out, when you have a sort of a life of, it's not even comfort. It's like the pop song structure. They know what's coming next, and that gives their life comfort. And so they just say, the rest of it's too hard. I don't want to learn about this hard thing so that I can have my own opinion. I'd rather just keep watching TV or, going to my job and, numbing myself and letting somebody else be in charge. People don't want to take back their power or hold on to their power. And that is shocking to me. But
yeah,
where we are.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's totally infuriating. It was a very easy song to write, I think I wrote every new line basically to fuck with my Brume mates, I wrote every new line on like Bart going back, just being mad. There's a new line, just like walk down, like, okay, next sound check. That'll be right.
It sounds like like a call to action and like a song to march.
Oh yeah,
to.
completely.
Yeah, totally. That was kind of the vibe. That the first part where it says, "Who says the reigns of the dead?" That's because a long time ago, Native Americans, I don't know what region, would say rain was just the gods who were good are coming down. So I'm like, where they at, And then they said, like, if Catholics say you go to hell when you do something bad. Well, there's always the parallels in all philosophies after death. And so their parallel was they go to the West. So the first part of the song's like, who said the reigns of the dead? Like, I ain't seeing no good people. This is my, whatever opposite of rose-colored glasses I tend to wear often. All I see is people, spirits of the West, which basically means all I see is a bunch of evil fuckers ruling, doing bad things, going to war, killing people, ruining people's lives. So that's the really lighthearted part at the beginning of the song.
That's fine. I don't have to be lighthearted. And I think this has been an interesting moment in, metal has to come to grips with, and it's not a monolithic thing, but artists in metal have to come to grips with, like, are you saying something? And is it okay in the genre to be political or to have a point or a message? And
oh shit, JD, do you have my back on? I grew up listening to propaganda. I'm all about bringing some Noam Chomsky and Howard Zinn politics into some shit but I think there's like the Shirley Temples and the Howard Zinns of music, right? Like I'm an adult and, I totally see a place where I would want to be maybe the Shirley Temple for people's lives too, where sometimes it's fun to write about like D&D and like, there's a lot of like wizardry and magic in metal music. And it's nice because we need a fucking escape because most of the time life's hard and there's a lot of suffering. So taking us out of it, I totally see where there's like a huge spot for that. But personally, I've always been I'm stressed out or I'm sad, so I need to write a poem. And then when Brume writes a song, I'm like, oh, I need to dig from my book of poetry to backfill that into some lyrics. And so it always just ends up being things that are like personal, and it might not be for everyone who's like, wow, that's a buzzkill. Like I'm looking to like go into battle and maybe magic and fun stuff, I'd like to slay some dragons, and instead she's talking about how like President Trump's a douchebag. Like he wants a song that says that.
Well, I mean, and what was shocking to me is that there was this sort of agreed upon notion that metal was apolitical, right? It's swords and sorcery and fighting or whatever. And it's like, well, I'm sorry, did you not listen to anything Black Sabbath ever wrote about? Like, not ever read the lyrics to Children of the Grave or War Pigs, or none of this is new, and it's always been all of that, as it should be. It's it's a rich genre with anything that you might want to pluck out of it, you can find somewhere or another. From church burning atheists to white supremacy, absolutely. sensitive, sweet stuff to political stuff to bullshit and bubblegum, and it's all there to be found. I mean, it's a diverse. All right, so let's do the lightning round.
Lightning round.
Lightning round.
What's this? Lightning round.
Round.
So the other 3 songs, and I didn't. The titles are in the lovely text that I sent you. So let me just pull that up.
Doomsday, Desperado. I know that
All right, so Doomsday, Desperado. That song comes to us from an artist named Beelzebub Jones.
Dark Roots, Gothic Americana.
I'm on board.
What are we gonna?
What? It's like fucking sold.
Yeah.
Gothic.
All blues, dark roots, Gothic Americana, and doom country.
I'm interested.
All right.
Oh,
Baby, I'm yours. Baby, I'm yours.
all right.
All right, so scroll down and let's hit that right. I think it's already queued up. Oh, yeah.
We're good. Okay. All right. Here we go.
No, I want more.
That third,
Just getting started.
There's a Tarantino movie looking for a new
yeah,
score.
that's exactly what I was thinking.
All right, yeah. Let's hear it.
Okay, let's keep hearing it.
So well produced. Is this a fancy band?
I don't know. Let's
Speak Up
the
Recordings.
Beelzebub Jones.
Call me Apocalypse Rider, Desperado of doom, a man of violent persuasion, dancing to my own tune. I am chaos unfold, unleashed upon this world. Dead inside.
So I think he's English, which is an interesting twist for making
Very
Gothic
much so.
Americana.
I mean, I'm down. It's so good. It's like Tom Waits, and I don't know. It's like kind of reminds me of like the whole circus music going on in San Francisco. I know there's a better name than that, but like extra action marching band guys with Tom Waits with
Yeah.
like a movie score. It's
It reminds
awesome.
me of who was it? There was a guy.
We need to take our alpha brain before these
Seriously, we need to take our alpha
recordings,
brain before
'cause we
these.
can't remember
Not
shit.
remembering. I remember it vividly, and I
Here, scroll down. I want to see. It
know,
looks like
man.
you might have good merch. So far, one of the problems with this podcast is it's got me spending money on
right.
on band merch, which is
Ooh, a custom deck of poker cards.
oh come on now.
And a
Sold-
badge sticker set. A
It's sold.
badge.
Oh.
What?
It's also
Oh yeah, I need a badge.
That Beelzebub Jones.
all right. So Beelzebub Jones, check him out.
Oh my God, whiskey and two aces.
All right, what's next?
Sign me up to be his best friend, and I want the album.
Okay, we need dark druidic folk rites.
Okay.
Okay, this.
I'm not done with Beelzebub.
All right. Well, you're not doing the lightning round very well, but that's fine. Keep. No, she isn't. She's not done with
Oh.
Beelzebub Jones.
Okay, dark druid.
Sulpherous deluge. Okay, read
Another
the
band
name
from the UK.
of the band.
I can't. Really?
It's like 60 characters. I can't even
Those
begin
aren't
to
even
guess.
all like. Those
No.
aren't even English.
Well, no,
Not all of them.
I'm gonna probably sound stupid, but I think it's Welsh, so it's got some of the old
Federation.
like Celtic,
I don't know.
Viking
Maybe
alphabet.
if we listen to it.
It's like Mammoth, Wizard, Weed Bastard. Are they Welsh?
Yeah, they're Welsh. Yes.
Okay, well then I'm already excited about this. Let's play.
Okay. What are we about to hear?
Some
Any guesses?
some folky, some like high lung or I'm picturing like,
I feel like that's what Europe does for the metal scene that Americans maybe not be as well versed in, is they always know how to bring folk to the metal world, and it's so good to me.
yeah. Well, and because they have history that's before,
200 years.
six.
Yeah.
What?
Love it.
All right, keep
It
going.
was just starting to build a groove,
Was it?
It's weird, but I mean, it's like, I think it's good.
Here we go. I just my brain keeps trying to hear what's happening in the background.
I think someone's singing.
Well, there's a melody. It's all, to me, it's like if you give it breath, then it has like you can catch that groove and that melody.
Yeah.
Scary, but I think that's the point. That's what makes it kind of interesting.
Yeah. I think there's someone actually like kind of screaming
Is there somebody
very
back
low
there?
in the background.
Okay, let's keep
Two.
listening. Okay, give it another 30 seconds or so. That sounds like a marching band.
Yeah, scoot forward like to halfway through. Let's do some of the. I'll say there's probably an audience for them.
I feel like I could send this to Jordan Perkins Lewis right now, and he'd be like, either A, I know them, or B, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Scroll down. I want to see how many supporters they have. All right, so this is not very many. Interesting. What does it say? Read their dark rural folk music. Dark.
I know it kind of has like the same, like to me, it's a similar vibe as like the whole like Melt Banana crowd and all those guys.
Yeah.
There's a guy in that scene that is a phenomenal musician. His name's Pej, and he shares a studio with Enver, with Disastroid. And one day me and Enver were like writing a song together, and Pej showed up and he's like, hey, I wrote this album. I was wondering if you guys would be interested in like maybe playing bass or keyboard. And I was like, okay, we'll play it. And it was kind of similar, and like it was like it starts like chaos but finds a groove in the chaos, and it's super interesting and complex and awesome. And when he was done, I literally had to say, I can't. And he's like, well, oh, you don't have time? I'm like, no, I'm not talented enough to play in your band. Like, it's badass. You need someone a lot better. I can give you some phone numbers, but no, I can't physically do that.
That's funny. So to me, that kind of stuff is like an interesting thought experiment, but I just wouldn't ever listen to that. I don't have a mood. I don't have a mood for which that is the compliment.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So to me, it's like that is exactly what I want to listen to when nobody understands. And I think everybody fucking sucks. And I want to listen to something like that to be like, I can see beauty in something that isn't typical. And I wish, that person I'm trying to communicate could see beauty in something that I'm doing that's not typical, or saying that might not be typical. I don't know. To me, it's like, I love that kind of stuff because it opens up your brain in the same way like math might. It's like you people are like, what? I'm never going to fucking do this. And you're like, it's not about doing it again. It's about just opening up this new groove in your brain where all your neurons are traveling. And now you think about shit different.
Yeah, so we showed last week. Then have you gotten into Imperial Triumphant yet?
No.
Okay. Homework assignment number 2. Listen to Imperial Triumphant. You're going to love everything about it. 3 highly accomplished musicians from New York City, multi-instrumentalists, all of them playing a twisted version of black metal, but they're all like seasoned jazz musicians. You know, so in shows they're wearing these like black robes and these gold masks. It looks like Art Deco era New York buildings, and the goal is to make music that sounds the way New York City sounds to them. So if that's the screeching of the subway train as it pulls into the station, the cacophony and all different parts of it, so it's similar to that, but it's just enough more structured and just enough better produced that I can actually enjoy listening to it for more than 30 seconds.
Right.
But it does the same thing to my brain. Like, what the hell is going on here? Like, what's coming next? I have no idea. Yeah, you'll dig it.
I like that kind of stuff.
I saw them in Boston last year. I was out in Boston and I caught a Uada show, and it was Uada, Panzer Brigade, and then Imperial Triumphant opened, and they blew the other two bands. Like, it was the show with Stratton and Finney.
Oh shit.
And that was an awesome night for a bunch of reasons, but that show, we were just like, watch them play, and we were just like, what in the fuck is this?
For you to say that, that's huge.
I don't know what's happening here. But I'll go to Mr. Bungle, I'll go to California, or I'll go to the last 2 Mr. Bungle albums for that same kind of feeling, or John Zorn. Sometimes jazz for me does that.
Yeah, like it just kind of gets you. I call it the forward focus effect. It's like sometimes you have a strong feeling about something and you might want to bucket it into I don't like, but if you just let it ride for a bit and you give it a chance, it might just be a strong feeling. Yeah. That's it, and you could like it later if you give it a chance.
All right.
Kind of how I felt about the Ford Focus car when it first came out. I know that's weird. But that's
And now you love them?
I figured.
I do. Right when I saw them, I was like, disgusting. And I'm like, wait, I don't know if they're disgusting. I just feel strong.
Yeah. It's kind of how I felt when I saw the Cybertruck.
Yeah, exactly.
Same feeling. I'm like, I might hate it, but I might not. I just feel very strong right now.
Yeah.
Very strong.
13-year-old me wanted to put it in a sandbox.
Oh,
and put a little army man in it and drive it around for sure. Well, 13-year-old me in a sandbox?
Some firecrackers.
Maybe 6-year-old.
Weird. That's weird.
It's a weird 13-year-old. All right, we got one more. The last one is me making weird noises. The last one is Plastic Passion.
Okay.
By
Yeah. Almost picked that one. Let's do it.
To see or to hear.
Oh, let's just
do it.
Plastic passion. Plastic
I was going to say let it roll.
Let it roll?
It's building.
That shit's good. Yeah, the arpeggiator kicked in. My shoulders are moving.
Passion.
All right, it could go somewhere else now if it wants to.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This came out in April of this year.
One supporter. High five that guy.
High five that guy right there.
No merch.
Tony Starks.
Yeah, there's no merch. That seems very much like a basement made.
But look at this logo. Does that?
Yeah, it looks like death.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Totally, it's like blood dripping.
You got the reel-to-reel tape in the background.
Well, I mean, here's the deal.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, it's good. I like it.
Not all of us are blessed to have two professional graphic designers and video editors in our band. Some of us have to.
Yeah, we are spoiled that way, aren't we?
Some of us have to hack together promo images and out of freeware graphics programs with no experience, and sometimes that's how you end up with a logo like that.
I thought every band in San Francisco had at least one designer.
I'm not into.
I mean, a lot of them do, to be honest. I mean, I'll meet a band and like we'll start talking. I'm like, wow, you too. It's like, I'll do your poster. No, I'll do your poster. I'll do your poster. I'm like, wow, everyone can do posters. It's awesome because I sure as hell can't.
Well, and this is something about being in a DIY band that people don't understand is graphic designer is probably the job that your band spends the most hours on outside of playing music. I mean, like it is so time consuming to just do the basic promotion.
Yeah. And it's like, if you're in a band that doesn't have a graphic designer and then you're in a band that does, you really see the difference in time and in quality. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, for all
you're making everything look a million times better than it sounds.
Coming from two promoters that need to make posters all the time.
Yeah.
Always make a transparent PNG of your logo.
Please, God. Give me a vector file or a high-res logo that is transparent. Please, please, please.
Yeah. Nobody wants to sit there and like erase all the little pixels around your picture. It takes forever.
Yeah, that's why whenever a band's like, hey, why don't you use our logo on the poster? I'm like, well, yeah, 6 bands. None of you have reasonably sized or transparent. I'm going to spend 7 hours in my day making a poster so that I can then lose $150 promoting the show.
Sorry.
It's Helvetica. We are egalitarian fonter.
Come
Exactly.
on. Yeah, sometimes it's worth the effort, and sometimes it's easy. But actually, that's great advice. And the other advice I would say, if you're in a band or starting a band, is carve up the roles. Right, figure out if you don't have a graphic designer, assign it to somebody and figure it out. Teach yourself how to do it. Take your power. Right, like don't.
I tried to do video clips, and I sent it to Jordan, who's a videographer, and Jamie, who's a very fantastic designer for a very prestigious firm. And I was like, guys, I did, hype videos and promo clips. And they both emailed me back. That won't work.
That won't work.
Don't use that. Although sometimes the lo-fi ones are better, honestly. Sometimes mine
was the worst of both cases because I was using a lot of like software plug-in stuff. Like, we do it for you. Just add your product here of jewelry you want to sell. And I'm like, well, jewelry, music, samey. I'll throw it in there. Jamie's like, is that canned? Is that a canned video? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, it looks terrible. I'm like, okay, we won't use that. Just trying to like do some work. I feel like you guys do all the work. And they were like, well, just keep doing the work. We'd rather it look good.
Yeah. Being in a band involves a lot more than writing and recording music, but the DIY bands that are the most successful typically have a way to do their own design motion and oftentimes have a way to engineer and record their own music. You can do that yourselves. You take away so many of the barriers, and it has gotten so much cheaper to do it, frankly, to help. All of these mashup videos that we're seeing during quarantine, where people are recording their parts in different parts of the country and they're stitching music together, really high quality music that people would buy, done through DIY home setups.
I know, I love it. I think that it's all we're all getting pushed into learning the things we kind of been putting off too, because we still want to explore creatively. We still want to make music. We still want to do the thing that gives us life, but we don't get to be together while we're building these grooves or figuring things out. So now it's like, no, everybody in the band has to learn how to use Logic Pro or GarageBand. Everyone in the band needs to know how to mic their shit up. And, it's nice. You're kind of pushing everybody. So now you could be, even when we all get to hang out together, if we actually want to, might be like, hey, why not just do it in our basement? This is easy. Now we can like explore ideas all the time, every day, no matter what time of day it is. You can get this idea out and in a way that other people can collaborate with it pretty easy and digitally and send it off. It's like forced me to like learn a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm enjoying it because now I feel like I'm unstoppable. I'm like, we should have a cross-world band where we have like, Pete with, Elephant Tree playing bass, and like the vocalist from like, the Welsh girl from Weed Mammoth Wizard Bastard, or whatever the order is. I just love her voice, and I just love her sound. And like, you can like, let's have the Banquet guys doing dueling guitars. And then like every now and then we'll get the, Mike from Enter Armor to like scream hell on it. And like, let's just put together a world band, because we don't have to be in the same place at the same time to write music anymore.
You gave the perfect idea for how to end this episode. So we'll wrap up with you here, and then JD will pull up the Gurt video
Yes.
from the UK that Susie is friends with, and actually participated in making a song and a video as a remote collaboration. So pull it up. It's up on YouTube. So Susie, thank you so much for spending a bunch of your Saturday night with us. It's like,
this is my pleasure. This was so fun. And I poured a double too. So it was perfect. An hour, and I got through my whiskey.
Perfect. Yeah. I definitely think this is probably the first episode that's going to see the full light of day.
I think so.
So that's a good thing. And so you will be the debut episode. And
yay!
assuming that we didn't have any recording fuck ups, which is still highly possible. So again, thanks. Everyone who's listening to this, check out Brume or any of the other bands that we listened to today. Doing awesome stuff. Here's the records. There's two. The third one.
I'll have the first on vinyl.
Donkey is also a thing that exists. Or any of the other bands. And if you're in a band, submit music to us. Blynd sub@gmail.com. And we will catch you the next time around. We'll listen to your music, hopefully on air with the next wonderful celebrity.
Don't be scared.
Although I have a feeling it's going to be hard to find someone as charming as Susie.
No.
Oh, stop.
Oh, go on.
What was that we used to do when we were young? Oh, stop. I feel like that's a thing from the like late 80s and early 90s.
Yeah.
I'll bring that shit back. It's all popular all over again. That's right.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Susie. We will see you soon. Hopefully one of these days we'll get together soon and go to shows and play shows.
Yes.
But for now, at least we can do this.
Yes, I enjoyed it. It's nice seeing you guys again.
Yeah, you too.
Catch up.
All right. Oh, nope. Just play the video, right?
Video?
Right.
I don't know which one it is.
Oh, it's
I don't know. What am I looking up? Gurt Slud, Gurt Brume?
Yeah. We'll just figure this out. Susie, you can stay and listen, or you can dump out to there it is. Gurt and Friends Shell Lockdown Mix.
Okay, hold on.
Such a good band. I love it.
If you just want to stay on the side and listen, you're absolutely welcome to.
All right, let's do this.
We're going to play the whole thing.
Should we go full screen?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Party Doom.
Loud.
Yay, spicy. Bill.
What happened?
Oh, sorry, guys. I keep having real problems with my sound. Bear with me. We'll be there. Hang on. Let's start again. John, mate, you're on mute, and we can't see you. Turn your camera on. Okay, fuck it, let's just do it.
Fantastic. All right. Good night.
Hey guys.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Have a
All right, bye guys. I miss you already.
good likewise. Take care.